What is going on, crypto peeps? Welcome back to the Traveling Trader. A lot to get into today in terms of cryptocurrency and stocks, so let us get right into it. I say that every time, I know. But looking at Bitcoin, we had a 3.3% drop, which then caused the entire market to tumble, especially when priced against US dollar. In terms of the market cap, we are at 112 bills, so between 7 and 8 bill wiped off of the market cap in about a 24-hour period. Looking at the historical market cap, we did hit about, I think there was like 102 billion that we hit somewhere around December 14th or 15th. Yeah. And then we were at 103 billion December 16th. So this isn't the lowest that we've seen within, the last 2 months or so, but definitely not an optimal place to be. In terms of Bitcoin, we'll get into some of the winning trades that we had the last couple of weeks. This flash crash aside, there were actually some really good setups that we profited on. I'll get into that after the Bitcoin analysis. So looking at Bitcoin, we fell under the 50-day moving average. If you look, this is the orange line here. However, we're still kind of in the sideways pattern. There isn't really any incentive for me to enter into a swing on Bitcoin. Again, if you're dollar cost averaging, that's fine. But there really isn't any incentive because you do have clear support and clear resistance, right? Our strong support is between 31 and 3,200. And our resistance, even though it seems like a long shot right now, is somewhere around between 4,000 and 4,200. So as long as Bitcoin remains in there, I don't really have to make any swing trades, especially with leverage, because there's no reason to risk it. And you can trade alts priced against Bitcoin because those fluctuate in terms of movement, right? Against Bitcoin's value, at least. And some against the US dollar. But in terms of Bitcoin's price, since it is really the market mover, I don't really need to enter into a trade in Bitcoin. I can trade altcoins based on what Bitcoin is doing and use Bitcoin as sort of a precursor or an indicator of sorts. We have seen Bitcoin struggle to get above the 50-day moving average going all the way back to August. If you look here, that was really the last time that we were above the 50-day moving average for some period of time. There is this blip here in September, but it really didn't last long. So the 50-day continues to be strong resistance for Bitcoin. It's not comfortable being above there. Looking at the weekly, if you look at the weekly chart, the 200 that we've been monitoring for the longest time is still acting as support. If we fall below that, then I think we'll see again another downtrend to between the 1800 and 2500 range. However, it is currently holding really strong, and I mean, it's no coincidence that you could see it holding support here at the 200-day moving average. The 50 and 100 might cross, but that isn't really the death cross. I want you to take a look at, the last time that the 50 and 100 crossed, which was back in April 2015. We really traded sideways for quite a period of time before seeing the start of the massive rally that ended in January 2018. So the 50 and 100 isn't really a huge deal. That could signify a very long term sideways trading pattern, but it doesn't mean that just because the 50 and 100 crossed that we're going to tank. If we do fall below the 200, I think we'll see some form of tanking. One thing I want to look at as well are the shorts. If you look at the Bitcoin shorts, I overlaid it here on the chart. It's in the blue line. This is based on the Bitfinex data, but every time we see a swing low in the Bitcoin shorts, followed by a rally, obviously, because it wouldn't be a swing low without a rally superseding it, then we tend to see a price decline. This is true for most of 2018. Every time you see a swing low followed by a rally or an increase in shorts, you see a price decline here going from around 9,600 to 6,000. This one going from about 8,200 all the way down to about 6,100. And then this downside action here going all the way from about 6,400 to 3,100. So every time we see this swing low and a rise in shorts, we tend to see a price decline. So it would not surprise me at all if we do see a rally in shorts, that we would see a price decline and eventually a break of this 200-week moving average, taking us to between the 1800 to 2500 range. Now, in terms of altcoins that we successfully traded against Bitcoin, and remember, when you're trading against Bitcoin, you're acquiring more cheap BTC for the long run, right? So TRX was definitely one of them. We entered the trade all the way back here in early January at the breakout of this descending pattern here. And once it broke out, we entered a trade making over 30%. And now you could see it retracing again. Although the retrace doesn't look that drastic just yet, there's still this 50-day or this 50-period moving average on the 4-hour that is acting as support. And this could be a minor retracement before rallying again against BTC value, keep in mind. And we do see this with some of the top alts, right? Like when BTC normalizes after taking a hit and it starts trading sideways, it gives alts a chance to catch up in BTC value. However, the trailing stop limit that I had in place hit and I took profits on TRX. Looking at DLT, this was a really nice setup because it was forming a bullish pennant on the 4-hour, classic bullish pennant. And all you had to do was enter at the breakout, set a tight stop limit below the resistance of this bullish pennant. And we rode that all the way up to around 26% profit, setting a trailing stop again. So then, in the event of the decline, you're taking profits. It's retracing all the way down to finding support right now at around the 0.786 level on the 4-hour. The good thing to note is that there isn't much sell volume. So you see this decline in price isn't accompanied by much sell volume. However, we do see the healthy buy volume that occurred, the buying action that occurred, leading up to the bullish pennant and at the breakout of the bullish pennant. So this could mean that, at the key fib levels, there is a chance for re-entry. If you want access to the trade alerts, link is in the description. Sign up. I will send out trade alerts when I do re-enter trades on some of these coins. Looking at BNB continues to be a long-term hold for us, entering a position way back in December, making over 40% before this huge tanking that we see here today. This was actually, what percentage drop was this? We saw almost a 10% drop overnight in BNB. So again, your trailing stop limit will protect you and ensure that you take profits in the event that something crazy like this happens. Looking at XRP real quick, this is XRP against the USD. There is something of note here. We're currently at a support level, right? And this is where we tend to see a supply zone for XRP between 25 and 29 cents. If you look here, I'll draw it out in a rectangle, but you see here, this is the support zone for XRP. We're going all the way back to, you could say all the way back to August 2018, right? Every time that XRP hits the zone, we tend to see I might have said supply zone before, I meant demand zone, but we tend to see demand for XRP at these prices and a rally occurring thereafter. There's also divergence on XRP. If you look here, this is on the 4-hour, you'll see the price is making a higher low, and for the same period, you'll see the RSI making a lower low, right? This is called hidden bullish divergence. Same thing on the VFI for the same exact period. The VFI is making a lower low. And do we see that same thing on the MACD? Slightly on the MACD. But yeah, this is called hidden bullish divergence, where the price makes a higher low and the oscillators make a lower low. So this could very well act as a demand zone once again for XRP. And again, if you want access to the trade alerts, I will be sending those on the Discord. They're sent on the Discord just like this. Here are some past trade alerts. You'll see the one for DLT, the one for TRX. All right, getting into the stock market. Looking at the stock market for today, it is also a bloodbath. The Dow is down about 300 points, the S&P down about 30, and the NASDAQ is down about 102 points. And you'll see, obviously, in the large cap stocks that following the indexes, right? So Microsoft 2%, Amazon down about 3, Google down about 1.6, so on and so forth. One interesting trade in the traditional markets that I entered was on the SPY. Now, this is an ETF based on the S&P. Yes, that word again, ETF. However, this time it's not related to Bitcoin. But yeah, if you look at the SPY, again, an ETF based on the S&P 500, you'll see this descending, broadening wedge hitting support and resistance multiple times within this wedge. And you could see we are now at resistance again, and we are bouncing off of that. And the 100-period moving average continuously acting as resistance on the SPY going all the way back to October 2018. We dipped over the 100-period moving average, and now that we hit resistance, I do expect to see a drop from here. This is a very easy short to set up, and you could set a very tight stop limit above the resistance point, or maybe at this 200-period moving average, this green line. A lot of you ask me where I trade. I trade on TD Ameritrade. I'm not paid by them or anything. I do have a promo for, I think it's 300 free trades. If you want access to that, hit me up on the Discord and I will send that to you. The platform is called Thinkorswim, which it looks very similar to TradingView. So if you already know how to use this, it'll come easy. Let us take a snapshot of a couple of stocks. One interesting one, IBM. This is really interesting because their earnings came almost 50% short of what was estimated. So they were estimated at 4.26 earnings per share. They came in at 2.15, which is a 50% drop off from what they expected. Yet the stock really didn't move at all, and it's actually seen a couple of green days since. Now, and you could see the volume, really, there weren't any sell-offs whatsoever, just buy volume. This is obviously coming on the heels of the inverse head and shoulders, but from my last video, you'll see that IBM was heavily undervalued if you take a look at certain indicators compared to its peers. So the market, once again, proving that they feel IBM is undervalued, regardless of how short they came up on their earnings. Looking at Nvidia, this is the last one I'll get into now, but you'll see Nvidia is in trouble here. You can see that Nvidia forming a bear flag here on the 1-day classic bear flag. And there's reports that it is expected to come $500 million at least short of its earnings. Now, obviously, this does relate to crypto because Nvidia was providing a lot of the chips for mining, for mining rigs. But because of the slowdown in crypto mining and because of the macroeconomic events going on in China, as well as a lack of demand for gaming GPUs, Nvidia is taking a big hit. So it's taking a big hit in two of its major markets, cryptocurrency and gaming. It is now looking to diversify into machine learning and AI, and it is expanding. It's trying to expand its offerings, but Nvidia might be a good short depending on how it breaks out of this bear flag. Hasn't been above the 50-day moving average since October 2018. Anyway, that is it for this video. I hope you got something out of it. If you have, leave a thumbs up. If you have a question or a comment, or you want to see certain things in these videos, leave it in the comment section below. Hit me up on the Discord. Sign up if you want access to the trade alerts. Link is in the description. Subscribe to the channel. Stay safe out there. Peace.